Bill Seeley, and I'm a behavioral neurologist. I study neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease, frontotemporal dementia, Lou Gehrig's disease. I was always interested in neurology because I wanted to combine a career in medicine with a career in neuroscience. I wanted something that would be really interesting to me and yet relevant and able to help patients suffering from disease. One of our major interests in the laboratory is the biological problem we call selective vulnerability. And what that refers to is that these neurodegenerative diseases seem to pick out with almost a laser-like precision specific neurons and circuits in the brain. Our research is organized around the idea that if we don't get a handle on why the disease strikes where it strikes, we may not be able to understand why it targets the cells that it does, prevent it, or reverse the process once it's started. The disease that I focus on most closely is frontotemporal dementia. Frontotemporal dementia often strikes adults in the prime of life, really when their children are young. That's what makes it so tragic in a way. These are pivotal members of their community, of their family. Watching the disease strip away those elements of their personality and their social conduct, their emotions that are so central to who they are, is devastating. We're trying to use neuropathological approaches to understand at the microscopic level the specific cells and circuits that are getting sick, why they're getting sick, which proteins are involved in the pathogenesis of the disease, and use that information to get ideas about disease mechanisms. With disease mechanisms in mind, we can then try to develop treatments that will address those mechanisms at the cellular level. Now, the neuroimaging arm of the lab is designed to give us better tools to diagnose these diseases early so we can get a treatment started in the early phases of the illness, on the one hand, and on the other hand, to be able to really watch the disease progress, or in the scenario we'd like to bring to bear here, improve over time. Caring for patients with these illnesses is a very powerful motivator for me as a researcher. It gets me back to the lab eager to try to make a difference for these patients. On the other hand, being a researcher and really learning about the detailed anatomy of these diseases has changed the way that I listen to my patients. It helps me hear their stories with a different ear, a more sensitively attuned ear to what the earliest anatomical dysfunctions might be. Receiving the MacArthur Fellowship is a huge honor and breathtaking in a way. I feel like it comes with a huge responsibility, and I just want to feel someday like I deserved it and the foundation made a good investment in me.